As a kid, everything is scary. But for me, I love that feeling of unease, and it was sometimes fun to be afraid to sleep at night because of Freddy Fazbear in my closet. Now, I have fond memories of being on the computer and seeing ghost videos that were obviously fake, but, I was a kid. So I'd like to reminisce with you guys and go over the things that scared me personally as a kid. Leave in the comments what personally scared you as a kid. Now, this is going to be a broad one, but early YouTube had some of the scariest videos anywhere. Nowadays, everyone's kind of become desensitized to disturbing content because of analog horror, but at the beginning, these videos were new, and they were the scariest shit out there. I remember being on the bus with my friend, and he said, "Hey, look at this video," and he showed me his phone, and it was the rocking chair video. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, it's just a jump scare. It also doesn't help that I lived in Florida, and that state has some evil energy to it. Some of the interesting things about these videos is a lot of them weren't made necessarily to go viral and be creepy. A lot of them were art pieces like "I Feel Fantastic" or "There Is Nothing," but that doesn't stop the internet from doing its thing. Now, this one's a personal favorite. It's kind of sad to see how far they've fallen, but I love creepypastas. They're a staple of the early internet. Now, it's kind of evolved into stuff like analog horror and SCPs. I know SCPs are just as old as creepypastas, but they've still stuck around, unlike creepypastas. Now, I have two specific creepypastas that I remember unsettling me as a kid: Cupcakes and Tales Doll. Now, reading the script for this video, saying that out loud sounds stupid, but remember, I was a kid. I know I have a lot of MLP fans, so I'm gonna start with Cupcakes. Now, I'm pretty sure you are very aware of Cupcakes. It is probably the most famous My Little Pony creepypasta, and it has affected the fanbase so much that Pinkie Pie was seen as this crazy murderer off of this. I mean, there's even references to it in the show. MLP and creepypastas are kind of inseparable. They kind of rose to popularity in the same time, so it was kind of inevitable that they would combine. I remember being a fan of Sonic. I always wanted to play Sonic R, but I didn't have the console for it. And I remember seeing videos on doing a certain thing to summon the Tails doll, and if you do this, he'll kill you. I know in the beginning I said I didn't fall for that shit, but I was sort of lying. Tails doll is the only exception. I thought he would legitimately kill your ass if you played Sonic R and did the whole ritual thing and drew a picture of him. It seems that the creepypastas that affected me most were things that took kid shows and made them creepy. Now, that's very overdone now, but back then it was new, and it was sort of tainting what I loved. Now, while we're talking about kid shows, what is it with them and adding in the scariest episodes known to man for 8-year-olds? The thing that comes to mind is Courage the Cowardly Dog, and one thing for me personally, this one Clone Wars episode, Brain Invaders, was such a terrifying episode to me as a kid. It was like my first experience with body horror, and I hate body horror. Now, this episode has mind-controlling worms that take over the clones, and it sort of introduces this paranoia among the crew in the spaceship, because you don't know who was infected, and it's just the idea itself of this worm inside you and controlling you, or controlling your friends. I mean, it even infected a Jedi at one point. That is some scary shit. I mean, it was so bad that when cable was a thing, I checked the episode to see if it was Brain Invaders, and if it was, I'd go watch iCarly. Now, if you remember, I said I used to live in Florida, and there were a lot of storms and hurricanes. Now, the scariest part of those wasn't that I could have my house destroyed or, be swept up in them. So I'd be watching TV, just chilling, and then the sound would stop. the emergency alert system does a great job of getting your attention, but it also does a good job of scaring the hell out of you. Now, most of the times it was just for storms, but there are rare alerts that I was obsessed with as a kid. Like, on the internet I would find secret emergency alerts. Not secret, but like rare. And it'd be like, in case of nuclear meltdown, it'd be like rare cases of things like nuclear meltdowns or escaped prisoners in the neighborhood. But I think one of the creepiest ones was the National Emergency Alert, which is used for threats to America on a large scale. It reminds me of Local 58, if you know that, their contingency video where it is shown that America has fallen, and it plays a message basically urging all US citizens to commit mass suicide, including parents killing their own children. Now, I'm gonna have a quick rapid-fire section for video games. The Valve logo turning around scared the hell out of me when I played Portal 2 at midnight, playing Minecraft alone with cave sounds on. All of Majora's Mask, and that one room in Gmod Construct. You know the one. I know this is a short video, but I was just feeling nostalgic for being scared as a kid, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, fuck Smile Dog.